I mean, the biggest spit in the face to the American people, the biggest betrayal. Americans right now should be hotter than fish grease. An absolute disgrace, man. And people must be held accountable.
Mark Moyer, he's a USAID whistleblower, and he joins me now. So, Mark, you started at USAID, and what'd they do the first thing? Did they send you to DEI camp?
Yes, and great to be with you, Jesse. So I didn't get into the agency till February 2018, and this is one of the big differences that we're already seeing. That in 2017, Trump administration was very slow to get into the agency. So I get there in February, and we have what's called a privilege walk as part of the orientation, where you are given an identity. Now, I was a Scandinavian woman, and so when they read lines like, I get discriminated against because of government services, or people don't look how I look. So you took a step forward if it applied and if it didn't. And so I ended up near the front, and the indigenous woman with unwanted pregnancy and the male prostitute were at the other end, and then we talked about our privileges.
All right, so you were trained to be a Scandinavian woman in a privilege walk, not root out corruption. What kind of disguises do they use to fund these projects? I mean, do they just change the names of these things? Is there really some other reason we're doing this?
Yeah, they're very effective at rebranding things. So in the first Trump administration, the priorities were support national interests, as they are now. Another thing was countering terrorism and promoting self-reliance. So I went to a country, just to give one example, they had a feminist women's book club that had been started under the Obama administration. And then they now said this is a counter-terror program because feminist women are key fighters in the battle against terrorism.
That the USAID and the CIA helped orchestrate Trump's impeachment?
Yeah, I mean, Jesse, it's a crazy story. I mean, you might forget that, the House of Representatives impeached President Trump in December of 2019. Many people may not remember that it was a CIA analyst who was left over from the Obama White House who wrote the memo that...
Boy, oh boy, a lot of big things are going on. People are getting exposed. The biggest scandals exposed. The corruption is coming out. The truth is going to shine in the light. We got whistleblowers. Oh boy. God bless them beautiful patriots around the world. I hope everybody is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life, man. Y'all blew me up with this video that we're going to get into today. But Trump just dropped a big one, as you know, our president, man. And again, it ain't got so bad. They're calling for impeachment because, again, they are guilty. And they're screaming and hollering because we're getting exactly what we voted for. Exactly what we voted for, man. And I'm glad it's all coming out. Huge shout out to Elon Musk, Doge. A lot of things is happening, man, and it needs to happen. This is exactly what we voted for. And this is what Trump said just an hour ago. Looks like billions of dollars have been stolen at USAID and other agencies, much of it going to the fake news media as a payoff for creating good stories about the Democrats. The left-wing rag known as Politico seems to have received over $8 million. Did the New York Times receive money? Who else did? This could be the biggest scandal of them all. Perhaps the biggest scandal in history. The Democrats can't hide from this one. Too big, too dirty. And as y'all know, more is coming out now, and it's even worse. And it's, again, billions of dollars, man. It's way worse than you think, and I'm glad that it's coming out, and they ought to send everybody back a refund. Send them hardworking patriots back a refund, and they ought to just shut it down. Trump, we can do it before April 15th. Come on now, sir. We can do it before April 15th. Just shut it all down. That's what I say. Send everybody back a refund. Well, we got a big video we're finna get into today that y'all sent over. Let's jump in, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and let's roll that bad boy.
Want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
Hey. Why this beat so cold?
We will make America proud again. When you try to kill our we will make America wealthy again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
But man, when I tell y'all, Americans right now should be hotter than fish grease. And I'm just saying, you know, yeah, I'm telling you, your skin should be crawling hot. I mean, hotter than fish grease of what all has came out, man. And looking at these lists and looking at everything. Boy, I tell you, man, you know, people need to be held accountable. People ought to be walked out with their hands behind their back with these Democrats live on air. That's what I say, man. But let me read some of these comments before we jump into this. Let's hope the Republicans don't sweep this under the rug, show a spine, and get these crooks behind bars. They stole my money. Well, they stole our money, and I want it back. Shout out to that. Shout out to Lisa. All Americans should be outraged at this list. Not helping our own is seriously evil. These people make me sick. How can they steal from we the people who are hurting? We are sick and tired, and thank God for President Trump and the administration for. And again, prayers for Trump, y'all. Please, prayers for Trump. You know, like I said, look like the man ain't got no sleep. He ain't been to sleep yet. Prayers for Trump, his family, his cabinet. You know, they are on the ground running right now, man. But this is absolutely a disgrace. But we got a whistleblower, some big things in this video that you guys sent me from my brother, Professor Nez. And y'all know Nez loves my channel. He comes by and stops by all the time. Shout out to my dear friend, man. He does an amazing job. Make sure you go over to Professor Nez. Shout out to Nez Nation. A lot of people on over here and over there, man. So there's a lot of love and just common sense, you know. And we're all fighting for the exact same thing. We got our country back, and we're on the ground running, y'all. But let's jump into this. And let's see what's going on.
Everything about USAID is a complete and utter sham. I have a whistleblower who worked at the USAID who's going to share with you something that is so unbelievable and unreal that the greatest fiction writer in the world couldn't come up with this. Also, I've uncovered so much more. The video that we posted yesterday was just barely scratching the surface. I knew that once we get into the real bowels of the USAID and uncover the real corrosive corruption that was bound to erupt, it's going to just absolutely suffocate everybody. And I'm going to share this with you. Also, President Trump just posted this about our video yesterday. Check this out. President Trump just posted this today, February 6th, saying, looks like billions of dollars have been stolen at USAID and other agencies, much of it going towards the fake news media as the payoff for creating good stories about the Democrats. The left-wing rag known as Politico
Send everybody
seems
back
to
a
have
refund.
received $8 million, which, by the way, we've got further confirmation and further digging and due diligence.
Y'all see these Democrats on there screaming, holler, impeachment, impeach. A disgrace. They up there. I'm telling you, wig all crooked, wig hanging off, eyelashes coming down. You know, that other fella, he mad. He went inside the store and he couldn't find no pads. I'm just saying, he couldn't find no pads. Now he all talking about Elon Musk is a terrible president. He just on there typing. Because he went inside the store and couldn't find his tampons. And then they released a full interview of that woman, of his running mate, and she on there don't even know how the economy work. I'm just being real. Let's be real here. Let's talk truth. I done got mad. That other fella up there screaming, asking for impeachment, because it's all coming out. People are being exposed. It's all being exposed. He up there look like he need to be sitting down, eating drinking a glass of milk, eating a moon pie, or somewhere cutting avocados, or making salsa or something. Guacamole. Go make some guacamole, sir. Make sure you get them corners. Make sure you get when you make that guacamole. Make sure you get them corners. You got to mix it well. And make the chips while you at it too. Go make the chips too. Don't go to the store and buy them chips. Make them chips yourself. Since you got plenty of time on your hands. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to pause and go on my little rant. I'm sorry, y'all. I done got mad. Because I'm for the people. They ought to send everybody back a refund. And thank God for President Trump. And this was exactly what we voted for. We're getting exactly what we voted for. Expose it all. And then just shut it down. We can do it before April 15th.
Research and found that it's much more than 8 million. As I kind of said in the video yesterday, did the New York Times receive money? Trump continues. Who else did? This
It's all
could
coming
be
out
in
too,
capital
man.
letters. This could be the biggest scandal of them all. Perhaps.
Yeah, and I just showed y'all this in the beginning of the video. Go back. Let's continue. Let's see. All right.
Funding. Our taxpayer dollars were actually funding the British Broadcasting Corporation. If that's not insane right there, okay, if that's not absolutely preposterous right there, they put out this statement, which I uncovered, releasing this, saying a free press is essential to freedom and democracy, and 75% of countries around the world do not have a free press. BBC Media Action supports local media around the world to deliver trusted information to people most in need. Like many international development organizations, BBC Media Action has been affected by the temporary pause in U.S. government funding, which amounts to about 8% of our income. 8%. This is $1 billion corporation. In 2023, 2024, we're doing everything we can to minimize the impact on our partners and the people we serve. Why in the hell are our taxpayer dollars going to fund an entity across the pond, which is essentially state media, the BBC?
Look at 80. It's like 90% of what has come out of what our tax dollars have funded. It has been that is in disgrace. Send everybody back a refund. Then you got Democrats coming up there. You seen Chuck come up there. If Trump and Elon and their administration can do this, they'll come after the IRS. They'll come after. They ought to walk in there and arrest that piece of. I'm just saying, walk him out. Put his hands behind his back. And I pray they shut it down. I pray they do come after it. We can do it before April 15th. Just shut that whole thing down. The whole taxation. Sorry, y'all. I don't mean to. Sorry, I know. They say, Rick, calm down. Rick, your blood pressure. Rick. Sorry, y'all.
It's worse than Politico. Like, what is going on here? When you have North Carolinians living in snow tents right now, you've got people in Los Angeles who cannot even get to their home.
Our people.
Their homes could be getting robbed by all of the lawlessness that Gavin Newsom has unleashed on the poor state of California. And you guys are funding, our taxpayer dollars are funding the BBC? My fellow Americans, how many times did I say America last? America last. We're sick and tired of America last. That is what the vegetable in chief Biden, and that is what the worst DEI vice president in the history of our country, Kamala Harris, did to us. Check this out. It gets even worse. According to a USAID fact sheet, which has since been taken offline, their website doesn't work. In 2023, the agency funded training and support for 6,200 journalists, assisted 707 non-state news outlets, and supported 279 media sector civil society organizations dedicated to what? Strengthening quote-unquote independent media, which is just a euphemism for state media, because we're independent media. Independent media's sole precept is to engage in impartiality. objectivity. These guys don't do that. It is all a PR stunt. And wait till I share with you other stuff. It's going to blow your mind. I've got all the receipts. The 2025 foreign aid budget included just a cool 268 million. And moreover, all over the world, media outlets and organizations have had to halt some of their activities overnight. Thank God for Elon Musk. We have articles, quotes, scheduled until the end of January, but after that, if we haven't found solutions, we won't be able to publish anymore. Good riddance, explains a journalist. In Ukraine, get this, our taxpayer, it's bad enough that we're sending them all of our tax money instead of securing our border. Remember the quote-unquote border bill? In Ukraine, 9 out of 10 media outlets rely on USAID funding. Are you kidding me? In Ukraine, where 9 out of 10 media outlets rely on USAID funding, several local media have already announced the suspension of their activities and are searching for alternative solutions. You guys, America First feels amazing, but you know what this is? This is America spring cleaning. This is like we've had a house infected by termites, infected by black mold, manifested in the form of these absolute heathenous, deceitful, lioness, lioness, degenerate hippocrats. And President Trump and the entire cabinet that he nominated, that he wanted to work with him, that he selected, representing the American people, are literally taking out the brooms, taking out the pesticide, and cleaning house. I can't believe this. At slidsvo.info, 80% of our budget is affected, says Anna Babinet, CEO and co-founder of this independent, again, quote unquote independent. It's all a PR stunt because wait till I show you this. Independent investigative media outlet based in Kyiv. The USAID paid Ben Stiller, talentless hack, lucky ass degenerate Ben Stiller, the guy who supported Kamala, who advocated for Kamala, who did the white men's for Harris atrocious, abominable event. He was paid $4 million of our taxpayer dollars.
Cringy as hell. That's ridiculous.
While North Carolinians, Floridians, people affected by natural disasters got their houses skipped because they had Trump signs in their yards. People in LA can't get back to their house. Their whole entire livelihood gone. But you're giving $4 million to somebody who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars to do what? Here's the kicker. You want to know what they did? And that's not even all. Check this out. Sean Penn, again, another staunch Kamala Harris radical leftist, got paid $5 million. I'll tell you what they got paid for. Orlando Bloom, useless Holly weirdo, got $8 million of our taxpayer dollars. And Angelina Jolie got a whopping $20 million from USAID. And for what? To make Zelensky look amenable to the public. This was all a sham, all a PR stunt. The worst of Hollywood actors went to try to exalt and elevate a comedian puppet president who was unelected, who was given over $200 billion of our taxpayer dollars to sell him to the American public and the world beyond. Our taxpayer dollars. When I say share this out, when I say tap the thumbs up, what doesn't cost you a thing, this is what it's all about. Exposing the people who are destroying, decaying our country from the inside out. You're not going to hear about this on CNN. You're not going to hear about this on any of the woke outlets, ABC, NBC, CBS. You're not going to hear about it anywhere else. I need you to share this. Tap the thumbs up now. Oh, and by the way, the World Economic Forum got, just a cool, $52 million. The World Economic Forum. That is the faction of elitists in Davos that meet every year to try and essentially social engineer, change perception, try to circumvent and undercut American values and principles all across the world. For some reason, USAID sent them a cool $50 million and then some.
I would just say a strong message to Democrats who are out there pretending to be outraged about the long list of crap that this administration is cutting federal waste and funding, like $2 million for sex changes in Guatemala, $6 million to fund tourism in Egypt, $20 million on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq, $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan. I could go on, and I'm happy to provide this list to every single one of you. Democrats are outraged that the American people want to be, they want their taxpayers going to good uses, not stuff like this.
Just to piggyback on what the awesome, amazing Caroline Leavitt, I'm so happy. Another home run pick from President Trump. Let me know what you think of our new White House press secretary. What an upgrade. I love her.
Huge upgrade. No more big binder. No more lies. Just the brutal, honest truth. And I tell you, we see her like 20, 30, 40 times a day, y'all. I'm just, I start crying. They say, Rick, stop on that crying, Rick. Stop on that crying. I'm just just refreshing, you know, that trend, the transparency, you know, no more lies, no more big binder, no more DEI hire.
The USAID has been completely unaccountable for decades. It's been run by bureaucrats like, you know, these ridiculous swamp vermin that are now inciting violence and saying we're at war, we're going to fight, and we're going to fire you. Just so much hate. What happened to the Party of Joy? Here are just some of the few more ridiculous projects in which they spent our hard-earned money. $7.9 million to teach Sri Lankan journalists how to avoid binary gendered language. Are you kidding me right now? $20 million for a new Sesame Street show in Iraq. All the while Americans can't pay groceries, can barely sustain the cost of living right now, can't afford new homes, can't afford new anything, can barely afford to take their kids on vacation.
It's billions of dollars, man. People should be hotter than fish grease.
If at all. Some of them homeless, some of them displaced due to these natural disasters. FEMA skipping their houses. And you're going to spend $20 million of our money on a new Sesame Street show in Iraq? Don't get me started. $4.5 million to combat disinformation in Kazakhstan? Take a screenshot. I can't do this anymore. I just can't. It drives me nuts. I mean, you look at the bottom, $25 million for Deloitte to promote green transportation in the country of Georgia, $6 million for tourism in Egypt, $2.1 million to help the BBC value the diversity of a Libyan society, $6 million to transform digital spaces to reflect feministic, democratic principles, and maybe the worst of them all.
Again, y'all, if I do say something that I'm just, again, excuse my language sometimes, excuse my language. Just a disgrace, bro.
How bad. $2 million for sex changes and LGBT activism in Guatemala. $2 million. The waste is suffocating. The waste is abominable. These people should not only be fired, disbarred, and expunged from ever holding a public office again. I truly believe tribunals are in order. I think they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Pam Bondi, Kash Patel, you have the American support and endorsement to go after these heathenistic criminals. Clip. And I don't blame you if you leave right now, but Jesse Waters from Fox News, I mean, he has kind of like an hour, 2 hour long show. I don't know if you caught this, but here is a whistleblower who worked at the USAID, a white male, talking about what they put him through while he was working at the USAID. Watch this.
Mark Moyer, he's a USAID whistleblower, and he joins me now. So, Mark, you started at USAID. And what they do, the first thing, did they send you to DEI camp?
Yes, and great to be with you, Jesse. So I didn't get into the agency till February 2018, and this is one of the big differences that we're already seeing. That in 2017, Trump administration was very slow to get into the agency. So I get there in February, and we have what's called a privilege walk as part of the orientation, where you are given an identity. Now, I was a Scandinavian woman, and so when they read lines like, I get discriminated against because of government services, or people don't look how I look. So you took a step forward if it applied and if it didn't. And so I ended up near the front, and the indigenous woman with unwanted pregnancy and the male prostitute were at the other end, and then we talked about our privileges.
All right, so you were trained to be a Scandinavian woman in a privilege walk, not root out corruption. What kind of disguises do they use to fund these projects? I mean, do they just change the names of these things? Is there really some other reason we're doing this?
Yeah, they're very effective at rebranding things. So in the first Trump administration, the priorities were support national interests, as they are now. Another thing was countering terrorism and promoting self-reliance. So I went to a country, just to give one example, they had a feminist women's book club that had been started under the Obama administration. And then they now said this is a counter-terror program because feminist women are key fighters in the battle against terrorism.
I don't know how Jesse's laughing at that. Like that, I mean, I think I have a pretty good sense of humor, and I'll laugh where it's funny. I think you guys know that about me, and I think you guys share that. A lot of you guys have amazing, but pretending to be a Scandinavian woman and then talk about your white privilege to a pretend indigenous woman, this is what our hard-earned blood, sweat, and tears, taxpayer dollars are going toward?
Grease.
There's nothing funny about that. I don't think there's one thing. Do you think that's funny? Let me know in the comments down below. My fellow Americans.
But we all know Jesse. We all know Jesse. He proves a lot of points and a lot of things laughing, They say, Rick, you do too. No. I'm not laughing, y'all. I'm hotter than fish grease. It's a disgrace, man. Then spit on the American people. And y'all wonder why I talk the way I do. Some of my videos have gotten flagged for some of the outbursts that I've had, man. So I be trying to be calm and collective.
Fellow global citizens, I know we have a vast audience from South Africa, from Germany, from New Zealand, Australia, South America, everywhere. I love you guys. Let me tell you something. Our president had 2, if not more, assassination attempts on him. And these diabolical hypocrites, aka Democrats, who are literally fanning the flames of hysteria and division, saying that we're at war. Elon Musk is a terrorist. Donald Trump is a tyrant. He's a dictator. And all for the reason, their whole reason of doing this, putting this much energy, putting this much fight, is because President Trump, who actually campaigned on the promise that he was going to anoint and nominate Elon Musk to be the head of DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, to make sure that the government is efficient and not wasting taxpayer dollars. He campaigned. We all voted for this. All because Elon Musk is doing what the president tasked him to do, looking at waste and eliminating it in our government. That's why they're fighting. You have to ask yourself a very serious question. Why? Why are you fighting this tooth and nail? And why didn't you put this kind of energy up when we were experiencing the worst border crisis in the history of America? Why didn't you put this fight up when Americans were struggling? Americans were barely hanging on a thread, economically, financially, emotionally, physically. And you were giving all of our money to fund forever wars. And you didn't put up any fight, not at all, when North Carolinians were displaced and homeless, when Angelinos were displaced and homeless. You put zero fight up for that. But a couple of eyes on our money, closer look, a more microscopic look into our money, and you erupt in chaos. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
But The president has had his life jeopardized more than once.
Prayers, please. Prayers for Trump, y'all. Prayers for Trump, man. It is chaos right now. And they up there screaming, wigs turn. They up there threatening, up there screaming war. I mean, it is crazy. Impeach. Because they getting exposed. Because it's all coming out. Because they don't want, because now we have a president that is America first. Prayers for Trump.
And what you're doing, to me, in my mind's view, I'd love to get your thoughts on this, is an act of sedition. And not only should you be expunged, I think you need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law.
Put your hands behind your back. I'm sorry, y'all. I've been waiting. It been building up in me. You got. They just got to walk you out. Yeah. I say put them handcuffs on there tight. If my wrist hurt, I don't care. Put them on there a little tighter. No, I didn't mean to say that, Joe. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean to say that. I didn't mean it. Maybe I did. People got to be held accountable, man. And they ought to send everybody back a refund.
What you're doing right now is creating the same insanity in our country, the same lunacy in our country, which is dangerous and inciting. That's true insurrectionist. Inciting violence. It's the same mentality. It's the same thing they did during the campaign in 2024. What's the definition of insanity? Keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results? I know you're on a losing streak and you're going to keep on losing, but what you're doing now is sedition. I'd love to get your thoughts on this. I've got so much more to share with you, so make sure you stay with us, subscribe, follow. It's
huge shout out to my brother, man, and thank you guys for sending this over once again. My brother never disappoints, man. Huge shout out to my dear friend Nez, and huge shout out to Nez Nation. I love you guys, man, and I'm wishing the best in all you guys' life. Again, we're all on the same. We're in contact with each other. We're all on the same page. You guys tag us in the exact same post on X, Instagram. I mean, it's crazy, man. But we are on the ground running, and we're gonna make sure that we keep everything accountable to account, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. We are working so hard these next 4 years, man. And as you can see, our president ain't like he ain't been to sleep, man. You know, and so much has been done in the last 16 days, in the last 4 years. So we are on the ground running, and we'll see where this takes us, man. I hope he just abolish and that all the corruption continues to come out, and that we just abolish a lot of things, man. And that people are held accountable, that people are made an example out of. Just make an example out of people. We just got Pam confirmed. Cash is finna be, I mean, it looks like everybody's finna be confirmed. You know, that's the more great news. And just make an example out of people. Walk them out. Hands behind their back. People need to be held accountable. But we're turning this ship around. We are in the right direction, the golden age, man. I love you guys. God bless you all and your families. And I will catch y'all on the next one. And again, make sure you go to Professor Nez. Huge shout out to my brother and my dear friend, man. I love y'all. Bless you all and your families. One love, family.